Go.
Hello everybody, Gordon here. Today, Bronwen is taking a bit of a well-earned rest. So she gets to do the stuff at the back of the camera instead of at the front. And the all-age talk is by me, yes. And I get to do it here in this lovely church because I live with Bronwen. Well, I say live. I get stuffed in a black bag with Declan and Skip. It's not particularly roomy in there. But I've never been in this church before. It's really lovely. Anyway, the Church of England have said that we'll be able to open our churches for private worship soon, but we'll have to get them ready first. So don't come to church before then, or you'll have to live with Bronwen, and the bag is already quite cramped. Right, this video is going to go up on the website and YouTube. So that kind of makes me a YouTuber. I think I need a cool name. Yeah, so if you're watching on YouTube, mash that like button and hit subscribe. Yeah, right, okay. Also, it should have been the garden party next week, and that is usually our biggest fundraiser of the year. It usually has an awesome barbecue and displays from the schools and a beer tent for the mummies and daddies, but we can't do that this year. So no monk fruit machine, ka-dunk, 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 and no tea and cakes. But if you'd like to donate to the church anyway, we have an online donation page set up on the website. There is a link at the end of this video. So, what are we going to do today? Well, you'll be glad to know I'm not doing any singing. We couldn't find the music to Lighthouse, and besides, I'm an actor, not a singer. The puppets have all done their own sketches at home with their families, and so they're going to tell you several stories today. So are you sitting comfortably? Skip has been having a video chat with Bronwen during lockdown, so let's see what that's all about, eh?
Oh, Bronwen, it's good to see you on Zoom again today.
It's good to see you too, Skip. But why are you looking so down in the dumps? What's happened?
I've been grounded, Bronwen, and it's all the fault of that stupid COVID-19.
Oh dear, grounded? Why are you not allowed to go out?
I'm not allowed to go and meet my friends, despite the rule changing, for a whole week. How was I to know that my science experiment with Gordon's Glen Orange's whiskey would go wrong?
Gordon's Glenmorangie whiskey. Why don't you tell me what happened?
Well, I was so bored, Bronwen. I was not allowed to go and play football with Billy down the street.
Oh no, that's a bit tough.
And I'm still not allowed to come and visit you.
I do miss our visits.
And I can't go to my swimming club or to Cubs.
Yeah, it's very frustrating at the moment.
It is. And because I'm so bored of COVID-19, I thought I'd try a science experiment I found on the internet.
Go on.
Well, I read if you put a glass of water upside down on top of a glass of whiskey with a layer of plastic between them and make a hole in the plastic, the whiskey floats up to the top glass and the water sinks to the bottom. That sounded rather cool.
It does sound rather cool, but you decided to try this with Gordon's expensive whiskey?
I didn't know it was expensive.
Okay, so what went wrong?
I thought that using two different shaped glasses wouldn't matter, but it did. And before I knew it, a glass of whiskey was all over the kitchen floor. And I tried the experiment again, but it didn't work that time either.
Oh no, Gordon must have been furious.
He was. I've never seen his neck and face go such a bright red colour before. At least there's still a little drop of the whiskey left in the bottle.
A little drop? What size glasses were you using?
Pint glasses. I don't know what shot glasses are.
Oh, Skip, I think we need to direct your creative brain in new directions. I understand that you're bored right now, but it's only because some of your usual activities have stopped.
I just want everything to go back to normal again.
I understand that, but at the moment, you have a big opportunity if you're willing to take it. you have the opportunity to practice loving your neighbour. Jesus taught us that it's one of the most important things we need to learn to do.
But that doesn't sound like much fun, Bronwen.
Oh, but Skip, actually, you can have the most fun in the world when you learn how to give to other people. Have you thought what fun it might be to bake some delicious cakes or biscuits and then leave them on the doorstep of your friends Jojo and Elsie?
Oh, so instead of ringing the bell and running like...
Yeah. Instead of that, you ring the bell and leave the cakes to be found.
That does sound quite cool.
It is, Skip. And have you thought that you could really make, like a really lovely thank you card for your postman, because he's been working all the way through this, and inside the card you could leave a chocolate bar for him.
I could do that.
And how about creating a den for your little sister, and you can play with her one afternoon?
Not sure about that one, if I'm honest.
I think you'd find that if you decided to be kind to your sister and give her some time, you'd actually end up enjoying yourself, as well as growing and learning how to love others.
That wouldn't be easy, Bronwen.
Who said that loving others was easy? How about giving Gordon some help? Tidy the shed, maybe. Or you could help him clean his toolboxes.
But I hate cleaning.
I know, but think how happy it would make him by offering your help. Wouldn't it be fun to see that big smile on his face?
I guess it would.
There are so many things that you could do from home to love your neighbour. It just takes a bit of imagination, and we know you have lots of that, Skip.
Well, thanks, Bronwen. You've helped me realise that I don't need to be bored after all.
Excellent. You could even ask Gordon to set up a WhatsApp group in your road and then offer to help people who are still isolating or need a bit of extra help at the moment.
That's a great idea, Bronwen, and I could even charge £1 a job.
Skip!
Well, how else am I going to pay for a new bottle of Gordon's Glen Orange whiskey?
Oh dear. I think our call's coming to an end now, Skip. Bye!
Bye.
Yes, well, I was not happy with Skip. That was a 12-year-old Glenmorangie he disposed of. However, some good seems to have come from it. It would be nice if we all looked out for our neighbours and friends in these strange times. The next offering is from Pam. She's a very talented actress. She is playing both parts in the next sketch. She is thinking of doing a one-puppet show in West End, you know. Anyway, Pam has suggested there's something we could all do to help with the boredom in lockdown.
Oh. 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 Hey, Georgie. What are you doing? You look pretty fed up. I am, Mum. I'm fed up with lockdown. I'm fed up of being stuck at home. I'm fed up of not seeing my friends. And I'm fed up of not knowing what day of the week it is. I'm bored, 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 bored. I'm as bored as a boring bored person from the land of boredom. Oh dear, you are in a state. Well, what would you like to do? Well, I'd quite like to read a book. So why don't you do that then? You've got loads of books in your bedroom. I've read them all. What? All of them? Yep. From cover to cover, and some of them several times. I've been that bored, I even tried reading one backwards, but all that did was make my eyes hurt and give me a headache. Okay, but what about your Bible? What about it? Have you tried reading that? What? From cover to cover? You've got to be joking. Have you seen the size of it? And besides, you don't read the Bible. It's just something they use in church to fill in the gaps when no one can think of anything to say. Okay, I think we need to have a little chat about this. Yes, you're right. It's probably not realistic to try to read it from cover to cover in one sitting. But what you can do is read a passage from it, which can be as long or short as you want, and then sit quietly and reflect on what you've just read. When you say reflect on what you have read, do you mean try to read it in the mirror? Now that's an idea. I could read Alice through the looking glass in the mirror. Thanks, Mum. I'm going to go and try that now. Now hang on a minute, Georgie. That's not what I meant. What I meant was sit quietly and think about the passage that you've just read. What does it mean? What is it telling you? Is there anything that you can apply to your life? Okay, I guess I could give it a go. And then can I read Alice through the looking glass in the mirror? Oh, Georgie!
I do like to read my Bible. I quite often like to sit and read it. I have the Lego Bible, and all the stories are illustrated with scenes made from Lego, with really cool Lego men, and Revelations has dragons and everything. Oh, the Bible has lots of cool stuff in it, and you can find guidance and answers to everything in there, but you do need to think about it and interpret it with what you read. Jesus is the answer to everything, but if you take that too literally, then, well, let's see what happens, shall we? The next story is by Mike and Jane. Their sketch is set on a quiz show on the telly called Mastermind.
Welcome to the final of Mastermind. The previous contestant scored maximum points on his general knowledge round, which means that our final contestant has to answer all the questions correctly to win. May we have the final contestant, please? Sitting down in the chair. Please state your name.
Jane Puppet.
Your occupation.
Part-time puppet actress.
You chose the life and works of Jesus Christ as your specialist subject in the first round. Very well codswallop if you ask me. Now you have 2.5 minutes of general knowledge questions, starting now. Who invented the electric light bulb?
Jesus.
No, it was Thomas Edison. Who was...
No, I don't think it was.
What?
It wasn't him. It was Jesus. It says in the Bible, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. That's in John chapter 8, verse 12.
Well, that's not what it says on the card.
But it is in the Bible. If Jesus is the light of the world, he must have invented the light bulb.
All right, I'll give you that. Right, next question. Who was the first person to climb Mount Everest?
That was Jesus.
No, it was Edmund Hillary. Who?
No, sorry, but it was Jesus.
It says Edmund Hillary on the card, and I know that is the right answer.
Well, in the Bible it says, and after 6 days Jesus taketh Peter, James and John his brother, and bringeth them up into a high mountain, and was transfigured before them. That's in Matthew chapter 17, verses 1 to 9. It was a really high mountain. So it probably was Mount Everest.
But it doesn't say it was Mount Everest.
But it doesn't say it wasn't Mount Everest.
All right, I suppose that makes sense. You can have it. Next question. Which body of water provides the world's largest fish catch?
The Sea of Galilee.
No, it's the Pacific Ocean.
Nope. In Luke chapter 5, it says, Jesus is preaching by the Sea of Galilee and says to Peter, put out into deep water and let down the nets for a catch. They caught such a large number of fish that their nets began to break, requiring help from another boat.
But,
There were so many fish.
really?
There must have been tons and tons and tons.
Wow, if that's true, I'll accept that. Next question. What is the biggest wine producing region in the world?
Oh, that will be Cana in Galilee.
No, I'm afraid it's not. It's Bordeaux.
Well, in the Bible, it tells of Jesus turning water into wine at a wedding in Cana, next to the Sea of Galilee.
So,
Well, if he turned the water in those jars into wine,
yes.
logically, wouldn't other nearby water also be turned into wine?
Well, I suppose so.
The wedding was on the shores of the Sea of Galilee, one of the largest inland seas. It would have turned into wine too.
That's amazing.
A wine lake.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm right.
On to the final question now. If you get this right, you win the Mastermind final. Here it is. Which group has arguably been the most influential in the last 60 years?
That's tricky.
Well,
I'll
I'll have to hurry you.
No, wait. It was John. John somebody was in it. And Paul, I think.
Yeah,
It
yes,
was... They were amazing.
Yes.
They changed my life.
Well,
And millions of others.
what's the answer?
It's Jesus and the disciples.
I'm sorry. The answer is the Beatles.
They were nothing compared to Jesus. His book has been a bestseller for 2,000 years.
Really?
Jesus is king.
I never knew.
Jesus rules. Jesus rules. Jesus.
Yes, correct. Wow, that's the end of the final. And Jane Puppet, you are the Mastermind champion.
Yes! Jesus rules.
Jesus rules? Jesus rules! Jesus rules! Jesus rules!
So, Jesus is the answer to everything. Well, not literally, of course. Well, he did do some amazing things. He did not invent the electric light bulb. That was Thomas Edison. But he is the light of the world, and he has guided and inspired hundreds of thousands of people around the world throughout history. And he didn't turn the whole of the Sea of Galilee into wine, just the urns of water at the wedding. But you can look in the Bible and ask yourself, WWJD, what would Jesus do when you were looking for guidance in any situation? However, you can't turn water into wine or even Ribena. Believe me, I've tried. I didn't want to go to all that queuing at Sainsbury's just for the old bottle of vino. Anyway, you can pray to Jesus and ask him for help and healing. We can ask him to help and protect us in these difficult times. Most churches around the world have stopped meeting in person for obvious, sensible and necessary reasons. Some, however, have not. Citing their belief that God will protect them from the virus, they are taking the belief that Jesus is the answer to everything too literally. God does protect, God does heal, yet we are his hands and his feet. And it's vital that we play our role listening and acting upon the advice of experts. So, I trust God with my health, but I also try and make sure that I exercise and I eat well. If I break my leg, I'll pray for healing, but I will, of course, always go to the doctor. We must trust God, but take action too. So, let us end with a prayer. Okay, everybody bow your heads, close your eyes. Okay, right. So, Abba, Father, please protect us, help us stay safe, and to protect others in these difficult times. Guide the scientists and the experts who are trying to stop the spread of the virus, and help our leaders and politicians to understand the advice the scientists have given them. Help them to protect us all. As we look to you for answers, please show us the way and help us to be neighbourly and help those who are on their own or have no one else to help them. Please guide us and lend us your strength. Amen. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that. Hopefully we can all be worshipping in our churches soon. But till then, stay safe and don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And yeah, mash that subscribe button, yeah. Right, bye folks. Oh, it's a bit high up here. Get down.